right, well, we can get started. It's going to take a second. Welcome everybody to the Keystone Central Policy Meeting on 2/11 of 2026. It's 10 a.m. and we can go ahead and get the meeting started. Under Section B, Policy 000. Board Policy Procedures, Administrative Regulations. There were a couple edits that I was told that needed to be made, so Elizabeth and John, we can talk about them if you want to, so go ahead.
The internet won't connect to my laptop, so luckily I printed things out and there's nothing I can do about it now, so we'll just adapt. We have policy 000. I'm going by my notes since I can't see the screen. Under content, the first paragraph is authority. The second one is contents. And this was a recommendation to consider the first sentence. The only words that would possibly change are put a comma after the word policies, remove the word and, keep procedures, add a comma, and BOGs and ARs would be included before the word adopted. So it would read, the policies of the board shall consist of the policies, procedures, and BOGs and ARs adopted by the board and contained in the board policy, etc., etc., etc. It's just a slight edit, so it includes the BOGs and the ARs.
Okay.
Does that change the intent of the second paragraph of that section? That says administrative regulations are not part of board policy and may be altered by the administration without board action. Administrative regulations may not conflict with board policy or with applicable law.
That's a good point. So the second word in that first sentence, the word adopted, it could read BOGs adopted and ARs reviewed. So it could read, good catch, Dr. Redmond, good catch. So it could read, and I'll start over. The policies of the board shall consist of the policies. Oh, thank you so much. Just take your time. The policies of the board shall consist of the policies, comma, procedures, comma, and BOGs adopted and ARs reviewed by the board, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How'd that sound?
I think that, well, I mean, it's ultimately it's the board's policy. So, yeah, that I don't think that's in conflict. Although when we spoke with PSBA, Christine and I spoke with PSBA about this, their perspective was that the board operating guidelines fit in the same category as the administrative regulations in terms of it's kind of the administrative side of the 000s. But I hear what you're saying about. So what I'm interpreting you're saying is that you want to move the BOGs to be under the
Adopted.
Board has to adopt the BOGs.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that that's clearly what you're looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if everyone sees value in that, then the ARs would just be reviewed by the board, which that wouldn't change.
Yeah, that's what we're
Does
doing
that
now.
sound? What do you think, Chair?
I think it sounds all right.
Okay, all right.
So
that's,
reread that so Christine has it correctly, please.
yes, and plus Christine, I can email you my notes if you
Yeah.
choose to, but, thank you very much. Deeply appreciated. Okay. Under contents, the first sentence, the policies of the board shall consist of the policies, comma, procedures, comma, ARs reviewed, and BOGs adopted by the board.
If I could, I think when you said it the first time, you said the policies of the board shall consist of the policies, comma, procedures, comma, BOGs
Adopted.
adopted and ARs reviewed
by the
by the
board.
board.
Yes.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's why you said it the first time.
Thank you so much. I'm just trying to.
So then,
Here's the school board.
if we could just make sure that, when we put that, if this is what the committee wants to do and put it on as a first read, that we put the changed language, kind of like we normally do with the,
Yeah.
highlights and all that sort of thing in there.
Yep. Cross out what we're removing, add the words in bold so that they can see what's being changed. Like we normally do.
Okay. And the second paragraph, administrative regulations are not part of board policy. That stays the same. Add a comma. Shall be posted with corresponding policy, comma. Now that's brand new. Shall be posted with the corresponding policy, comma. And may, this is a new word. After the word may and before be, may not be altered by administration without board approval or review.
All right, now I have a question.
Review.
If, say, a situation changes and he needs to update or change a corresponding AR,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying he can't do it without board approval, so that means he has to wait till a board meeting?
I'm just saying, these are comments that we've made over the years and I just made notes. So
Okay,
if you don't want that, that's fine. These aren't I'm not championing any of these. I'm just,
So just to say, kind of consistent with, how things have been working, I'm just sort of making this up, trying to construct the sentence in my head here. Could it look something like administrative regulations are not part of board policy and may be altered by the administration without board action? And then we can put a sentence in there, the board must be informed of any changes in the next available policy committee meeting or something like that, just so there's a notification part in there.
I like that idea. Do you?
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay, so
I like that better.
Christine, you and I can work on the specific language on that one, and we'll have it up there before it goes on the March meeting.
Okay, super terrific. And then under limitations, it's the second sentence. And
Okay,
the board, this is not changing, this is as is. The board shall make the final interpretation of its policies, comma, and the superintendent shall make the final interpretation of its regulations. It's removing administration, replacing it with superintendent, and it could read something like superintendent or designee.
So what I like about the administration is that it supports the idea that we in the administration side work as a team.
Okay,
And so interpretation, what I don't want to suggest is that the superintendent should have a unilateral interpretation, that it should be working with the superintendent's team. So I like that it says administration there.
Okay.
Because it's that kind of teamwork approach.
okay, let me ask you this. Does that mean an administrator can just change a policy?
No,
Okay, this is only for ARs, correct?
correct, right? And it's the administration, and the administration, just like the board doesn't sit with any individual board member, the administration doesn't sit with any individual administrator.
Okay,
well, I heard this. Oh, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay.
I'm thinking here.
This might help clarify the language. So after we keep administration, okay, the administration shall make the final interpretation of its AR regulations. Add AR right before regulations.
It's a little redundant because it's administrative regulations.
Well, then, interpretation of its ARs, and just get rid of the word regulations. We're trying to write it so everyone understands. I know we understand it. What do you think? Remove the word regulations and replace it with ARs.
Or we could just put administrative regulations in there.
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, it should say administration regulations.
That's much clearer because we're using acronyms again and that doesn't work for,
Yes.
that's a good idea. What do you think, John? I don't hear anything from you.
So I'm just following along.
Oh, okay, okay. I just want to make sure I'm not over, that you get a voice in this, because I don't want to. And then I don't have any notes from any other times that we spoke on this one. So that's all I have from that.
Yeah, yeah, put that on administrative regulations. I'm good with that.
Yeah, all spelled out. That's a good idea.
Yeah. You okay with that, Frank?
We could alternately, if we want to follow typical convention, is up in the first paragraph, when it first mentions administrative regulations, we could put a parentheses AR behind it, and then we could
Yeah.
put it's down here, down in that first paragraph I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first paragraph.
First
of
paragraph.
Limitations.
first paragraph, second sentence after administrative regulations.
Yeah, we can go
Parentheses
either way with
AR.
that. If we want to put administrative regulations, that's fine. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a word put in there.
I think it's a great
Okay.
idea, Dr. Redmond. Yeah, second sentence under authority, after administration regulations, parentheses, capital A, capital R, parenthesis. And that way it doesn't have to be spelled out ever again in this particular. Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that sound, okay, super terrific. I didn't have any notes for 001. So,
I think the next thing on the list, we're going to number 2003 functions.
oh, you didn't do, oh, okay, let me.
don't even know one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we didn't
the
put those
ones I
two.
have no notes from previous years or any meetings that, I'm so sorry, let me bring up your agenda, Chris. So,
The
oh,
agenda goes right to 003 functions.
oh, okay, so we're not doing 002. Okay, we'll keep that for next time. Okay.
Well, wait, what do we need to do 002 for?
Well, please, if you, this is your agenda, Chris, unless you want to
Right.
amend your agenda, but you have, it's up to you. This is your meeting.
001's name and classification. 002, authority and powers. There really was nothing in there that, unless you want to add something to it or ask for it at the next meeting, there's really nothing there.
Yes,
It's all
next,
state law.
right, next, what I can do is I'll email you the notes, okay? And then if you want to put it on your agenda for next month,
Okay.
okay, so email,
For moving 000 to first read.
okay, got it. Thank you very much. Okay, so 003,
May I interrupt for just a moment?
Oh.
I just want to make sure that Christine and I have the same understanding that you would like 000 with the changes that we talked about to be moved to first read in March.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we didn't, we weren't super explicit about that, so I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Right. No, I'm fine with that.
Okay, sorry for the interruption.
no, we have to, yeah, because it's just one little misunderstanding. And then, on your 003, these are the notes that I have. Under executive, second paragraph. Oh, excuse me. Second to last sentence. After the colon, and the sentence starts as, and shall be submitted to the board for review. And then I wrote a note in here that we had talked about and approval.
Hold on, where are you at here? Oh, I see the second paragraph.
Yeah, because but then it doesn't coordinate. I'm going by the notes, but it doesn't totally coordinate with the first sentence because we're kind of being redundant here. The beginning of the paragraph, though, says the superintendent shall be responsible for implementing board policies and establishing administrative regulations, blah, 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 that are not, blah, 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 are dictated by the policies, are binding on district employees and students when issued, and shall be submitted to the board for review and approval. Now that
No, it
again,
doesn't say, it just
it's-
says review. It doesn't say review and approval.
right.
So the paragraph talks about the implementation of board policies
Yeah, that's
and
why,
then,
Mhm.
and then it pivots and talks about establishing ARs. And the rest of the paragraph talks about that establishing the ARs, that it's not inconsistent with statutes and regulations dictated by the policies of the board, binding on district employees and so forth. So all of that, the rest of the sentence after it says establishing administrative regulations is all talking about administrative regulations.
right, and that's why I'm just going by my notes, and I don't think and approval should be in there, but I'm just going by my notes.
It's not in there.
Yep, that's why, that was an edit, okay. And then the last sentence, the board reserves the right to alter or rescind any such administrative regulations, and that one never changed. Okay, so we're not doing anything with the second paragraph, good, thank you. All right, then the third paragraph, I have a completely, a note here that it was completely recommended, discussed, not recommended, discussed. Third paragraph, that starts with the board reserves the right to review and direct revision, blah, 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 blah. It's sort of, I have it all crossed out because the note here is that it's redundant because it basically says it in the sentence right before in the second paragraph.
Mhm.
So we could just get rid of that. I have a note here that it was discussed, but we never did anything with it. Just get rid of the entire third paragraph because it basically says it in the sentence prior to in the former paragraph.
I see what you're talking about.
So it would be nice if we can shorten text whenever we can, but it
Well, it doesn't really have an impact either way.
just makes it less to read.
Right, but the number of people who actually read this is vanishingly small. So in terms of actual impact, I don't know that it would make a difference, but ultimately, if you want to, I mean, like I said, it's your policy. If you want to make it shorter. All right.
I don't see a problem with taking that out and shortening some policies
Okay,
as we review them. So I have no problem with taking that whole section completely out.
Okay,
It's like-
so,
I
okay,
agree that it says above, the board reserves the right to alter, or rescind any such administrative regulation. That should be regulations, but it doesn't matter. But that whole second, or that whole paragraph under it is saying the same thing over and over again.
okay, John, do you think that sounds good?
I do.
So your recommendation, Chair Chris, is get
Just
rid of
get
the
rid of that
whole third
one
paragraph?
section right there, the third paragraph. I guess that's what it is.
Okay, okay, all right, super
All
terrific,
right. Authority to, in
okay.
emergency circumstances.
Yes, the fourth paragraph, I have a note here that the first sentence, the word emergency is added before the word circumstances. So it would read, the board delegates. Huh.
Delegates.
Delegates, yeah. Thank you. I'm like, delegates, we're not delegates. Thank you. The board delegates authority to the superintendent to take necessary action in emergency. That word is added and nothing else changes in that sentence. Necessary action in emergency circumstances, not provided board policy. I'm not sure why that was never. So that one was the one word added after the word in and before the word circumstances, the word emergency.
I disagree with that, and it's not because I think,
Okay,
and so the reason I disagree with that is because the board policy can't possibly cover every circumstance. And there's things that are not emergencies that are not addressed by board policy that I'm gonna need to take care of in the moment. I can't wait for a board meeting.
oh yeah,
for
that's what we
something
don't
like that.
want.
So this is consistent with the way the state code reads about if there's something that comes up in the school district that isn't covered by school law, that someone has to make a decision on, superintendent has to make the decision and then inform the board about it. Doesn't necessarily have to be an emergency. It's just policy can't cover every single possible circumstance.
That's fair.
I
Yeah,
can understand that.
okay, so we're gonna not alter that sentence. We're taking out the word emergency. I like that, but
Yeah.
is that, yeah?
Yeah, there's no, emergency doesn't need to be there because not every situation that comes up is an emergency.
Yeah, I think Dr.
And
Redmond,
then it goes on to read that he has to The superintendent shall promptly inform the board of such action. The superintendent's decision may be subject to review by the board.
Yeah, that works for me. Is that?
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
has to
no.
promptly, he shall promptly inform us of such action, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, so no change, paragraph 4. That's great. I like it. John? Is that okay with you?
Your
Yeah.
thoughts, John?
Majority of the board, why wouldn't that just be the board?
Yeah, that's what, I'm just going by notes that we've been taking, so.
John, can you speak into your mic so we can hear you?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
It's all right.
Majority of the board, I asked her why that was in there, majority and not just the board.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I'm just going by the notes. These aren't I'm not championing anything, I'm just sharing.
Well, in all honesty, any decisions made by the board has to be a majority, so
It's
it
redundant.
can't just be one or two people get together and say, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, we've been through that.
Yeah.
We don't do that. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, super terrific. Then under evaluation of board procedures, the way that I have it here is the notes is the first sentence is crossed out. Under evaluation of board procedures, the first sentence is crossed out. The crossed out sentence is, the board shall plan an annual evaluation of its functions as a board. And then to reduce the text, the note here is second sentence starts with annually, the board shall evaluate board functions, goals, procedures, relationships. So we're just taking out a redundant sentence and adding the word annually before the word the board.
Okay, I don't really see a problem with that.
Yeah,
So I wonder if this paragraph is trying to differentiate kind of a broad scale idea of the board doing a self-evaluation.
mhm,
How are we operating as a board? Are we meeting all of our obligations? Like all of that kind of stuff. And in addition, the board may evaluate specifically board procedures, relationships, activities, or focus on a particular issue. So it seems to me that it's saying the board's going to do an annual evaluation of itself, kind of broad scale. And if the board wants to, it can dive into more specific issues that are listed in that second sentence.
okay, so I think I hear what you're saying, Dr. Rubin. So this is what, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So the second sentence would read, annually, the board shall evaluate board functions, comma, and may evaluate goals, procedures, blah, 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 blah.
Actually, I think the way it's sitting as it is right now
Oh,
is fine.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'm sorry.
saying, the board has to do a self-evaluation every year.
mm-hmm.
And if it wants to do other stuff, here's a list that you may consider.
Okay, so the only thing we're changing then is the first word. We're adding the word, we're first getting rid of the first sentence.
Again, I don't think there needs to be any change to that paragraph. I think it captures those two ideas. But again, it's your policy. You can decide what you want, but I think there are two different ideas in there. One is now an annual evaluation. The
Oh, I see
second
what
one
you're
is more
saying.
specific topics that you could dive into.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then, okay, so if the first sentence stays, then the second sentence stays as is, except for after the word board, I don't know why I have this highlighted. Evaluate board, and then the word added in there is functions, comma, goals. Those are just two added words. The board may evaluate board functions, goals. Those two words were added. Functions, goals. Do you want to keep those two words in there?
Well, you're adding them in there. They're not in there currently.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
have written here.
We're kind of, our goals are everything that's in that policy right there. The goal is to make sure we do an evaluation, which we've never done.
Well,
And,
the board is, oh, sorry.
Annually, the board shall evaluate board procedures, relationships, activities, or focus on a particular area of issue. What are you wanting to add in there?
I think the word goals should be in there because the board is supposed to annually set goals and we never do. And this is the only place I have a note here where the word goals is actually, unless it's somewhere else where I can't find it. We're supposed to do that annually.
Okay,
So just add in the word I don't know, but then again, it says may. I mean, it's a dictate we have to, somewhere in the legislation. I don't remember where it is.
I don't have a problem with getting rid of the word may and replacing it with shall, because that's given us an option not to do it. And then that's something that should be done. The board should set up goals on what they can do to better things.
What do you
So I
think?
don't have a problem replacing that. Dr. Redmond, do you see anything indifferent on that?
The way I interpret the first sentence is that in the annual evaluation, the part of that process is examining the annual goals of the board. That's the way that's the way it should work. And then again, that second sentence it opens up the opportunities to look at other things besides just the goals that you do in your
Right.
annual evaluation.
Right.
Chair Chris, I have a comment, please.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I think Dr. Redmond hit on a way to correct this and we can move on. The first
Okay.
sentence, the board shall plan an annual, I'm sorry. The board shall plan an annual evaluation of its functions and goals. Add the word and goals as a board, and then keep the second sentence the same, the way as is.
Makes sense.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
super terrific. All right. So the first sentence will read, the board shall plan an annual evaluation of its functions and goals as a board. And the second sentence shall not change. Or did you want it?
Right.
Okay, so it's going to stay as may. Good. All right.
Yep. And that's it for that one, right?
Well, the second paragraph, the board president working with the vice president in cooperation with the superintendent. Or just keep it, the board president working with the vice president shall develop an annual plan.
By state law, the superintendent is supposed to be involved in all those kind of board development activities.
Okay, so thank you. That's right. 10th person or
Right.
seat at the table. Thank you. So I would like to see though personally, but it's not critical. I'd like to see that the vice president is added. It's always like, I always see it as a mentoring program, no matter who the vice president is. So they're always involved and they know how the steps go. So what do you think of this? The board president working with the vice president and superintendent, just add the word vice president and superintendent shall develop an annual plan.
I'm all right with that because the superintendent is a 10th member of the board, even though he doesn't have voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
He has to work with the board to make everything jive.
Yep. John?
Good.
Yeah, okay, so then that sentence will read, the board president working with the vice president and superintendent shall develop an annual plan. Beautiful.
And
Yay.
that goes to first read.
Okay. Oh, this one. Number 4. 04.
Let me see which one. Okay. We have 003 functions, then we have 004 membership.
Yep.
That's where you're at, right?
Yes, that's your next one in line.
Okay.
Well, here are the notes that I have written down.
Yeah.
And it never went very far because of other priorities, but we know this is sort of up there. This is the note I have written down from under the first paragraph, under the word number. I'm sorry, the first
Yeah.
section, under the word number. the second paragraph, I have this written down. With the exception of the superintendent's 6-month and annual review, comma. The superintendent shall have a seat on the board and the right to speak on all matters, but not the right to vote. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying, that's the note I have. Is it necessary or?
I don't,
Yeah, because it's a policy and this is explaining why 9 members vote and not 10. I don't see a problem with that being there. Unless I'm missing something here.
All right, the way the note reads is, with the exception of the superintendent's 6-month and annual review, the superintendent shall have a seat on the board and the right to speak on all matters, but not the right to vote.
Are we on the same thing here?
004, number, under category, first one, under number, it's the second sentence, or second, well, I'll say paragraph, but it's not.
so if I could, on that one, the part of the evaluation process is a discussion,
Yeah,
right? And so I think that technically the superintendent does have a right to speak on that matter because it's supposed to be kind of a back and forth conversation.
yep. I see value in that. I'm just going by historical notes here and recent conversations, so. Do you want to keep
Where are
that?
you at, Elizabeth? Because I'm not seeing what you're looking at.
004.
Yeah,
Okay, under category number, the very first one. Do you see category where it says number in bold, underlined?
no, I'm not.
Under 004?
Yeah, Chris, maybe you're not looking at the wrong policy. Because the top of 004, after all the preamble stuff, the first section is number, where it says the board shall consist of 9 members.
Yeah,
And then right underneath that, it says superintendent shall have a seat on the board and the right to speak on all matters, but not the right to vote.
Yeah, he needs to be seen.
right.
So that's what Elizabeth was talking about is the suggestion, if I may, Elizabeth, that you were putting out is to carve out an exception for evaluation. And then my response to that is the superintendent is supposed to be involved in conversations with the board, which is, so I think that kind of goes against that recommendation.
Yeah, it's not my recommendation. I'm just going by old notes here. So basically, the second one, the second section, do you see where it says the superintendent shall have a seat on the board, Chris?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that
and a
won't,
right to speak on all matters, but not the right to vote.
yeah, nothing changes. Nothing changes. That stays as is.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Good. Okay, then the other notes I have is, under, what page is this, so it can help? This is page 2. Second category, vacancies. Well, we know that this one is something the full board wants
Right.
taken care of as soon as possible. So
Okay.
So I emailed you out on the 10th, text that included ideas from what the board had mentioned and also some of the circumstances that came up between the candidate vacancy issues. And not that it's a policy, but it gave you at least something to look at.
Right.
And like I wrote in my email, I did look at a lot of other school districts. So I just tried to write in everything there that I heard people say. So be that as it may, it's a lot of text. It's 2 pages. Well, 1.5 pages. So,
Okay. I'm
And then-
going down through here.
right, and then I wrote as a note on the bottom that if any of this goes into the policy for a review, that it would be placed at the end of the vacancy section, because that other section is just basically text taken from legislation. So if any of this goes into the policy, it would be at the end of the section of vacancies, but before the category of term.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
my understanding in that, when I read through that, it's fairly procedural in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how you go about kind of language.
BOG?
Right. So I would suggest that rather than attaching it to the policy as part of the policy itself, it would end up as a board operating guideline that we would attach to this. Like once all of the text gets worked out and a specific procedure is agreed upon.
I think that has value. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah. One thing I'd like to see in here under the vacancies
Yeah.
is a section that shows, we're gonna give X amount of time.
Yeah.
For applications to be received, and once a date's set, it's set in stone.
So again, Chris, I think because that's procedural in nature about how you go about filling the vacancies, that should sit in a BOG that's attached to the policy.
Okay,
Do you have the Word document in front of you, Chris?
no, I do not.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to email it to you real quick or?
Yeah, can you?
Yes. In the meantime, John, would you be so kind as to read, this might help what he's talking about. The third bullet.
You want me to read that?
Yes, because Chris, I think this text sort of describes what you're saying, like how long does a person have from the moment it's advertised to submitting? I think this might help.
You ready?
Yeah, please, I don't, go ahead.
Advertise on the district website homepage, all district social media sites, and the paper of record for approximate 14 days prior to the interview. Postpone interview and appointment meetings shall follow Sunshine Act requirements, and the 14-day may not apply.
Okay. Advertise on a district website homepage. All district social for approximately 14 days. I think that advertising for 14 days in a newspaper can be quite expensive.
Oh. No, I see your point. It's not, that's why I think that text has to be amended. But what that text is trying to describe is that at a minimum, it's advertised for 14 days, or it could be 10 days. But what it means is the secretary, you have to advertise it 3 times, correct?
I think
For a special meeting, or is it just once?
Just once.
just one.
Yeah, special meeting is just once.
Yeah,
But what-
special meeting is just once.
Right, so, but this is saying that it would give from the date that it's publicized, that the application process would be open for 14 days, but it doesn't have to be. It could say up to 14 days, or it could say 10 days, or it could say 7 days, or.
If I may clarify,
Please.
I think maybe there's a vocabulary issue mixed in here.
It is.
So you're saying advertised, but I'm wondering if what you mean is that the window for accepting applications is open. Because advertised means we're putting something in the paper every day, which, as Chris points out, gets very expensive, and I don't think that's your intent.
No.
So we're not advertising for 14 days, but you're suggesting that the procedure would read that the window for accepting applications remains open for 14 days or whatever.
Yeah, there's a 14-day window.
Yeah, but that's a tricky wick too, when you think about it, because, I mean, granted, I don't think the Court of Common Pleas is gonna do anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. But let's say we had someone resign or other, 2 weeks prior to our next voting session.
Okay, let me throw this at you.
Sure.
Number one, when somebody resigns, it should be immediate.
That's in there.
If you're gonna resign, it's immediately done.
It's in there.
There's no waiting a month or whatever, because that screws everything up, especially over a holiday period. The 14 days should be 14 business days.
Okay, that's good. 14 consecutive days or business days?
business days.
Okay, business days.
Cause that way, if school's out of session for a long weekend or something, or weather related, you're not losing days. It's 14 business days that it's open.
Okay, I got that note in there, 14 business days. So third bullet, it would read, advertise on the district website homepage. All district media, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we have to fix that sentence. Advertise. It would just be, we have to get rid of the word advertise. Okay, the first word has to leave. It's not the word
Announcement will be made
announcement.
on
That's
the district website homepage,
announcement.
all district social media sites, and an ad placed in the paper of record.
Yeah.
That the window for applications is open for 14 business days
Yep, so the first.
prior to the interviews.
Yep,
On the 15th day at noon, or the 14th day at noon, the window is closed and there will be no additional applications accepted.
so, okay, how's this, Chris? The first sentence would read, cross out advertisement, yeah, that's wrong. Put an announcement on the district website homepage, all district social media sites, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, for approximately 14 business days.
Yes.
And then the second sentence stays the same, and then the last sentence of that bullet would read, applications shall not be accepted. Applications shall not be accepted with an A after the vacancy application deadline. Yeah? Do you want me to read that again?
It should be on the close of business on the 14th business day. In other words, when Christine or whoever goes in there on the 15th day, whatever she got the day before, that's it.
At the close of the 14th business day.
Yes.
Okay. At the close of the 14th business day, applications shall not be accepted, period.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to write this, I'd like to repeat it, please, just so I got this right. Shall not. Okay, just give me one moment, please. Okay, so the last sentence of the third bullet, cross this out. Last sentence of the third bullet. At the close of the 14th business day, applications shall not be accepted. Or, no, new applications or additional applications. Or any. Oh, that's a tricky wick there. Okay. At the close of the 14th business day.
All applications received are final.
Or the board will only consider applications submitted prior to noon on the 14th day.
I like that.
That's fine also.
Yes, would you repeat that, please, Dr. Redmond?
The board will only consider applications submitted prior to noon on the 14th day.
Well, the board will only accept.
Consider applications
consider.
submitted.
Now, this is the bog we're creating, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just want to point out a potential issue with this. Chris, you stated earlier that as soon as someone announces, that's when the clock starts. The
Right.
potential issue is the 30-day timer. So if someone says in the December 12th meeting, for instance, that they are out, then because of the winter holidays, you may run out of the 30 days before the board has a chance to interview and appoint.
Yeah, and that could throw a wrench into all the works, just like we just had happen.
Right, so that's why I'm wondering if it may cause problems to say that you can't have an effective resignation date.
Mm.
So I hear what you're saying about not wanting to delay it, right? If someone says, hey, I want to stop as of January 1st or whatever. But the problem is if you say you have to say it on the day that you're starting it, or the day that you're resigning. If someone says that in early December, the 30-day clock will run out before the board has a chance to go through the entire application interview.
Okay, so like if we have happened like we did, so effectively the clock doesn't start, we don't even start advertising for applications until the day the resignation is final. Correct?
The language in the state code is the 30-day clock starts when the board acknowledges the resignation.
Okay. So we're gonna have to wait.
There is a way around this, Chris.
Go ahead. Let me hear your thought.
There's always a workaround. There always is. Okay. Whoever the president is at the time, whenever the next vacancy occurs, the board president can call a special meeting. Let's say Bob Smith resigns tomorrow, and we know that there might be some conflicts coming up. The board president can have a special meeting within 2 days. And they can meet and accept the resignation and close the meeting at any time. So that's the workaround. So we also
Board has to accept the resignation, not just the president.
No, you're right. That's why I'm saying the workaround is this. The board president can call a special voting meeting at any time. Once the meeting is called, the board majority gets together. They make a motion to accept Bob Smith's resignation, effective immediately, and the clock starts ticking. Now that special meeting can happen whenever, if like what Dr. Redmond stated, if there's this weirdo thing about the vacancy being too close to an election, or if it's too close to a summer break, or whatever it may be, that's the workaround. The president calls a special meeting, the board votes, they close the meeting, clock starts. And that could be, once we change that other policy about the Zoom thing, virtual, that the majority has to be sitting in the room, once that is changed, we could all just Zoom in real quick, make a motion, vote, clock.
What do you do if it's in the middle of summer vacation and IT department isn't there to set up a Zoom?
IT, well,
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong, but
there you
IT doesn't have the same schedule as a teacher.
Yeah, our IT department here works year round.
Okay.
May I interject something?
Please.
This is completely unrelated to our current topic. We're coming up at 10 to 10:50. We have our student representatives who are here with us. Thank you very much for being here. But I don't want to take them away from their whole day of school. So I don't know if we can either, put some of the agenda, move that to the next meeting or do something else so that we're not taking away from the rest of their school day. But I just want to advocate for them getting back to class to learn the important things they're doing in class.
Well, it's your meeting, Chris, but I'll be honest with you, I would like to finish this blog before we leave today. I would hate to face the board members and say, well, we didn't complete it. But so if you folks got class or anything, we hate for you to not be here, but if you have to get to class, please do.
Let me ask this, the two students that are sitting there,
Okay.
How do you guys feel about this? Are you okay with going for class and letting us finish this, or?
I think they're.
I'm excused for the classes like for another 40 minutes, I think. And I have
How about
lunch
you,
right now.
Kat?
I'm excused until 11:17, correct? Or until 4:11. I have another 10 minutes. I'm also in choir right now. So
Oh, love choir. Good for you.
All right. Well, let's take them up to the time that they're excused for and let's get her done.
Okay, so that last sentence, Dr. Redmond read it. Christine, do you have any problems with that last sentence, how we worded it? The board will only consider applications, blah, blah, blah.
No, you're gonna send that to me too, though, correct?
Oh,
I don't
That,
think
that was,
I-
that was the one that I suggested is the board will only
I don't
consider,
think I had that email that she sent.
okay,
oh,
right. So if you can just kind of scribble down,
I have it.
the
I have
board
the
will only
scribbles.
consider, yeah, that's fine, great.
I will I thought I sent you the draft. Okay, I'm
Maybe
sorry.
you did, I'm sorry.
Oh, you did? Oh, good. I'm good. Because if I didn't, always let me know,
Would you,
please.
just to make sure, would you resend, please, just to make
Yes,
sure that she has it?
I'll
Thank you.
I'll forward you the one I sent to, Chris. So you have the same email. There, I'm just gonna forward it right now. Christine, boom, send. Done. Okay, so you're happy with the 14 business days? Everybody?
Yes.
Chris,
Yeah.
or Chair Chris,
Yeah, John.
are we gonna leave the word approximately 14 days in there? The approximately?
Abs should not be approximate. It should be, approximately should be taken out of there.
Yep,
It's
Yeah,
14 business days.
yeah.
yep.
Approximately just opens up the door for
No, that's.
You're right.
controversy.
That's a
No, that's
good
perfect.
catch.
It's perfect. Yeah, like I said, this is just a foundation to work off of. This is not, I didn't spend a lot of time on this, obviously. Just a foundation. Okay. Is there anything else? Now, I remember you mentioned the word deferred. Okay, now that's a legal word, deferred. Let me find it in the Word document here, before I Google it. Where's the word deferred? This will speak
I
to
never
your,
heard anybody say that word.
yeah, it's a legal term.
Well, I know it is, but I didn't hear it brought up.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. It's the first bullet. Board notice,
Okay.
board notice of vacancy shall begin the day the board member announces their resignation. Now, that doesn't coordinate with the fact that we have to vote and accept the resignation, okay? So it should probably read something like the first bullet. The notice of board vacancy shall begin the day the board accepts,
The resignation.
I think the code says acknowledges.
acknowledges, okay. Well, acknowledges and voting are two different things.
Agreed.
So how do we work around that so people understand what that means?
So the way I look at the state code on this, when the board acknowledgement means that in a board meeting that is held in the public, the board says we have received a resignation notice. And
So
that's acknowledgement.
how about publicly acknowledges or,
It's in the public meeting. That's kind of
Okay.
redundant.
okay, so
Yeah.
the first sentence will change. Board notice of vacancy shall begin the day the board acknowledges not there, the resignation. And then it says, and the date may not be deferred. Deferred means changed, moved, that's.
Right.
There's another word for deferred that people might understand better, and I had it, but I didn't write it down. Oh, I can't get on the web. What's the other word for deferred that people always use? 'Cause I can't get on Google to do an antonym.
What page are you on? Sorry.
Page 1 of the draft ideas for the BOG for vacancies. First bullet, the word says, and the date may not be deferred. That means changed.
Are you looking for delayed? The
That's not the word.
date could be delayed.
It's the word that means deferred, but people understand it better. I'm fine with deferred, but if it's a confusing word for anybody, it just means it can't change. Now, what I mean is it can't be changed. The board member that resigns cannot come to a meeting and say, I'm resigning March 4th, even though it's February 1st. The resignation is the moment the person states the resignation. The board person that is resigning has no right, zero right, to state when the resignation is effective. It is the board majority that has the right to say when the resignation begins.
Well, the resignation should say, effective immediately, and then it's acknowledged by the board, and then it actually, the clock starts when the board votes on it.
Okay, so maybe just to get out of that confusion, since he fixed the first sentence, get rid of the word "and the date may not be deferred." Okay, because we may not even need it.
Altered?
That's the word. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. It is altered. All right. First bullet. Board notice of vacancy shall begin the day the board acknowledges the resignation. Period. Board member announces their resignation at a public meeting or shall give written notice to the school board president. And then it writes here, the resignation date shall not be deferred.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Frank, your thought on that?
I think it's fine. It seems pretty consistent with what the state code says. Essentially, someone says, I'm going to resign from the position, and the 30-day window. So the thing about what the board does for the application window is completely up to the board. The state
Yep.
law doesn't say anything about it. The only thing the state law says, you have 30 days from the date you acknowledge the resignation,
Right.
fill the vacancy, until, you know, the 10 members from that area can file a petition. So that's the
Yeah,
only-
because
so the rest
what
is
we're
all
saying-
we wanna do.
we're kind of going where if somebody, right before a holiday says that they resign, okay, they turn their stuff in, they're actually resigned right then and there. But then the clock starts when the board members vote on it to accept the resignation. So we could wait till after the holiday, accept it, and that's when that clock starts.
I don't believe that the board is required to vote on it. It just says acknowledge.
Okay, I thought the board had to vote on it.
That's not the way I interpret the word acknowledge.
Okay. Well, then if you acknowledge it, the minute they resign, that's when your clock starts, so you're back to,
Not necessarily. If someone sends an email to the board chair, the board has to acknowledge, right? So it has to be in a public meeting with a quorum present for an announcement to be made. Hey, we received a resignation from X board member. That feels
Okay.
like acknowledgement to me.
okay. That's fine.
Yeah, that's-
Elizabeth?
Yes, I think that's fine because we're just gonna have to adapt as things come up. That's what we do, okay? And the fact that, like I said, any board president can call a special meeting as long as a quorum will show up. And it could, so that takes care of that. If we want the resignation to be effective quicker for some reason, we can,
Okay.
or not. But I will say this, Chris, I think that the 14 days, and this is just my opinion, I think the 14 consecutive days is too long. I think 10 would be more than adequate.
Not consecutive business.
Well, you have 30 days, so you're using half your time.
Yeah.
No,
If you-
30 days is calendar days, not business days.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a big difference. So that's why I would shorten it to 10 if you want to do business days. Otherwise,
Like-
14 could turn into 16 or 18 days real quick. It could just say
Oh,
14.
no, that's making an awful short window.
Well, I'm just saying the word business days versus consecutive days. If
Right?
it's 14 business days, it could easily translate into 2 weeks plus 4 or 5 days, depending on if there's a holiday there, if it's a weekend there. So what I'm saying, I think 14 consecutive days would be more than enough time for someone to get their application in.
Maybe change that to calendar days, just so that's.
Calendar days is
because that's
fine.
a more traditional.
Yeah.
way of talking.
14 calendar days versus business days to shorten the time period.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. What do you think, John?
I think it's perfect.
Okay, so 14 calendar,
Business days is one day shy of 3 weeks. You throw the weekends in there.
that's what I just,
You're up to 18, 20 days out of a,
okay. Calendar days, got it.
yeah.
And then once I type all of your notes up, I will send it to everyone for a read. And then Christine, until I hear back from them, then I'll send it to you, okay?
Fantastic.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else in here? Now, on page 2, it says here that, I don't know how you want to handle this. The candidate may interview in person or virtual. Did you want to add telephone or keep telephone out?
No, we should be acceptable of any type of interview they can do, telephone, virtual,
Okay.
or in person.
Okay, in person, virtual, or telecommunications?
Telephone.
Is it
Because
telecommunications?
you gotta remember, somebody may be somewhere where they don't have Zoom capability.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why, okay, so that one I got, or telephone. And then everything else basically follows the procedure that we set up for last time when we had multiple candidates.
Yeah,
When we have, I just wrote the procedure of what we actually did in the text. I'm not saying that grammar is, perfect. I mean, I can clean this up and make multiple paragraphs so it doesn't read too long, but basically, well, it does. It follows basically what we did, and all the board members, no board members, I should say, no board members came back to me later and said they didn't like the procedure that we did for the last multiple candidates, where they picked a card, they sat in the hallway, and then they could sit in the audience once their interview was done.
that's fine, but that doesn't have to be in a policy.
No, it's not in the policy. It's just in the BOG as an example.
Okay,
Because I feel highly confident that someday we're going to be gone and there's going to be
I hope
folks.
so.
Well, I mean, yes, someday we will be gone. But what I'm saying is someone will be sitting at this table who is, you have no idea the amount of days I put in to all that research. I'd say 7 days. Okay. So I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. All right. So that's why I think it should stay in the BOG.
All right. Now, I know that our 2 students need to leave,
Yeah.
and we're at the hour mark.
I think it's
Do
good.
we want to stop where we are? I don't know what everybody's schedule is, and
Yep.
continue on and add everything we didn't cover today onto the next policy meeting? Or do we need to do another policy meeting this month? What does everybody want to do?
Well, I would like to suggest this. Would this be appropriate, Dr. Redmond, if, would this have to be publicized? And I'm being very serious here. If Chris, myself, and John Zoomed in together, not through school, but I could just do a quick Zoom on my own account, whatever. And we made notes. We wouldn't do any action, but we would look at policy, let's say 006, and we would make notes together and then bring those notes to the next policy committee. Would that be okay with everybody? I mean, we wouldn't deliberate.
So from a sunshine law standpoint, you, as a 3 people from the board.
Or a quorum?
Are not a quorum of the board. So you can't make decisions, you
Right.
can't change policy, you can't vote on anything.
Right.
There's no prohibition from 3 of you talking about policies and coming together on what you think the final version should be. I still think it's wise for those, whatever you come up with should be part of the policy committee
absolutely.
conversation in the next
Absolutely.
policy committee to say, here's what we're proposing, and just sort of talk through that, make sure everybody's in agreement, and then, turn that from the policy committee into the the next board meeting.
That's exactly the way it should be. We could eliminate so much time in a policy meeting.
Yeah.
If the three of us sat down and went over some things and then brought it to the policy meeting and then it got moved to the board meeting, we could eliminate so much time, it'd be unreal.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody feels uncomfortable with that, because anything that we are discussing is gonna go into, just like I've done over the years, my scratches. And
We're
then just
not making a
table.
decision. We are
No.
only making a suggestion.
Does that sound good,
How
Debbie?
to trim the policies and make them a little more effective.
Yeah? All right. Is that
Go
it?
ahead, John.
I just have one, if I'm reading this right here, the last part of the page 2, where it says if only one candidate applies at a public meeting, the board majority present has the right to temporary. So that means that the way that's worded, the way I'm reading it, we would be changing from this candidate, well, we have the right, let's change it for this one.
Okay,
There's nothing that's, there's no, bam, this is the way it is.
okay.
We're setting a date that the applications have to be in. And we're setting the interview date after that, and that's it.
Okay. May I, Chris Chair?
Yeah, Elizabeth.
He was actually showing me what he's reading. I think I understood what John was saying. Correct me, John. If you look at the Word document, the second to last sentence, and this was because of what Bill had said at a previous meeting. That's why I put this in here. Bill feels, or at least if I heard him correctly, Bill feels that he just wants the best candidate. And if
Right.
only one candidate applies, it sounded to me that he didn't want just for us to interview that one candidate, but to reopen the applications again. That's the way I heard it. So I added
Yeah.
that because of Bill. If only one candidate applies at a public meeting, the board majority present has the right to temporarily postpone the interview process and advertise the vacancy before the interview process begins. That's the only reason why that sentence is in there. But if you don't like that sentence, you just have to imagine though, if you only have one candidate that shows up, which we've had in the past. I've been on the board, we've interviewed one candidate and we approve that candidate. But then again, if the board interviews one candidate and you don't have a majority vote for that one candidate, it automatically triggers another search.
Right.
Well, I personally don't like that sentence in here because so I mean, there's a fail safe there. The board majority, if they only get one candidate, they can contact the president and request they postpone like we did last time. So I personally don't like that sentence in there because the board can already do that if they wanted to.
I didn't like the part, the 3 words in there, has the right.
Yeah, you do have the right. You have the right to,
But that doesn't leave a standard of consistency. It's, okay,
No.
we have one candidate here, we have one candidate here, we're gonna proceed the
It's up to-
same with both.
I know, but it's because the legislation has no dictates. It is completely open. So the board can meet.
Frank, is there anything in the state law regarding that?
No, but I think kind of what you were saying, I think what I heard part of what you were saying, Elizabeth, was that if you only have one candidate
Mhm.
and that candidate doesn't receive a majority of the vote, it doesn't really matter what your policy says. It's still an open seat.
Yeah.
Right? And the board can at that point decide, what are you going to do about it? The board could decide to sit back and hope that 10 people ask for the courts to take over. The board could reopen and start over again. It's kind of up to the board as to what to do. If there's only one candidate, that does not mean the board has to vote that one candidate in.
That's right.
Right.
I agree with that, but what I'm trying to say is if we only have one candidate,
Mhm.
is our practice gonna be to interview that one candidate?
That's up to the board, but they can't make that decision unless it's in a public meeting. I can't call the other board members and say, look, we only have one candidate because for the president to postpone needs a motion. That means it's a continuation. For the president to cancel a meeting, it means it's canceling the whole procedure. It's in Robert's rules. So anyway,
When we set the interview date. That is set right there. If
Yes.
we interview one candidate and we don't have a board majority to accept that candidate, then that's done.
That's right.
That person doesn't make it just because they're one and we start over.
Yeah, but then if you only have one candidate and you interview and the majority likes the candidate, that's fine.
Then
You don't
they
need-
can accept it.
Yeah, you don't need two candidates is what, you can
Yeah.
interview just one.
Right.
You either accept the candidate or you don't. So that's
Right,
why
exactly.
I don't like this sentence in there, to be honest with you.
Essentially, it's unnecessary because if
Can
the
we
board-
get rid of it then?
Well, you can do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, I want to get rid of it. Like I said, this was all notes that I heard from the board and the community.
Right.
The community. Okay, so we're
Well, I
gonna
understand what Bill is saying. He wants somebody that is effectively the best pick for the school and the students,
Yes.
which I agree with.
me too.
So if we have a person there for an interview and we don't feel that that person is the best for the students or the school, then he doesn't get voted in, he or she doesn't get voted in, then we don't vote him in, that's all.
Yeah, and then the board decides in a public meeting whether or not they want to reopen the candidacy, interview a submissions,
We'll move it on.
or let the court common pleas take it. But again,
I
all of
agree
that-
with that.
All right, so we're gonna take out that sentence. Good, super. Good job, Chief or Chair Chris. and
I'm not a chief.
John. Chair.
Okay, Dr. Redmond, Justin, you guys, do you want to continue or do you want to call it a day?
I think we're done with this one. aren't we?
My preference would be to, when I look at the rest of the policies that are on the list, I don't know
Yes.
anything in there that has to be changed in order for us to continue functioning, or there's any problems with anything on there. So I would recommend just to kind of keep to our roughly hour-long committee schedule to
Mhm.
defer these until the next committee, policy committee meeting.
May I
Okay, so we're going to move 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on to the next policy meeting.
Oh, Chair Chris, I think he meant, I think 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3, yes. And then 4 through 10, I hate to keep the boosters, to maybe put the boosters towards the top next time. I'd appreciate it. Consider
We
that.
can do that because that's something that needs
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Unless Dr. Redmond, I take it you have all the stuff
Christine,
that
yes,
we needed.
she has received all of the bylaws from all of the PTOs.
Okay, can she send them out to the three of us
Sure.
so that we can go over them and get them in line, or is that gonna be a lot of hubbub?
No, it should be pretty, just sending an email with a bunch of attachments on it.
That'd be.
Yeah, and then the three of us will make a date and we'll just sit down and go through them and we'll try and get a consensus on it to bring back to policy meeting.
That's great.
That work with you too?
Yes, yeah, I'll try to be as flexible as possible.
Okay,
Super job.
so then we'll move the rest of the agenda to the next meeting.
Great.
You got that, Christine? And all the stuff we went over today will go to first read.
Yes, and I will send you and John the 004 blog we did today so you can review it. And I'll clean up the grammar. And then I'll send it to Christine after I hear back from you, okay?
Yeah.
All right, super
So-
terrific.
Anybody else have anything to say, Justin? Any of the students?
Chris, I just want to clarify I don't feel that the committee came to consensus on 004 yet. What I heard is you guys were going to go back and kind of talk about things and then bring that back to the next policy committee.
I thought we just finished that.
Yeah, I'm just,
Is that all done now? Okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna clean up the language, retype it, and then have these two just look at it real quick to make sure I got it right, and then I'll send it to Christine. But just give
Okay.
me a couple of days, okay?
We have a voting meeting tomorrow and that needs to be discussed tomorrow.
Oh. Okay.
It's a little, okay, so that means that because it's not on the agenda currently.
The policy committee is.
Oh, not policy committee, this policy in particular is
No,
not.
correct.
So if you want this as a first read for tomorrow night's meeting, we have to have it before 6:30 tonight.
I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah, we need to have that done because this is something we're gonna have come up over and over again. And we need to write this and have it done.
I'll get it to you. I got 2 hours this afternoon.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's not. My phone is not
Oh,
fixed.
that's what we need to do.
Okay, super.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
No, that's okay. I have no, it's not a problem. We're getting things done.
All right, Christine, you okay with that and what we're moving to first read?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's gonna have to be an addition to tomorrow's agenda, isn't it?
Yes, and we have until 6:30 tonight to make any changes to the agenda.
Okay, so everything today we picked for first read has to be ready to go by 6:30 for Christine.
I thought you just the 004 blog and the policy.
The other ones that we just did, we said for first read also.
Okay,
If
as long
we're gonna
as,
add one, we might as well just add them, don't you think?
well, that would be ideal. Christine, you don't need anything from me, do you?
No, but I would kind of like to review the minutes, but I won't get those till tomorrow.
Okay.
So can we put the other two on next
Yeah,
for
can we-
March?
Right. It'd be better if we can put those on for March. It feels a little tight to get all.
That's fine.
Yeah, the 004 though, I promise you I will get that done today.
Okay. Anything else from anybody?
Nope.
No
You
more
two
work.
you two students, thanks for attending. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank
We'll
you for
call the
having us.
meeting over with at 11:17.
Super terrific.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.